here at Furama home office, and they are scrambling right now as I came from Ocean Apartments Bali to do an audit, and I guess they seem to be caught off guard. But they should have the reports that they send us and should be able to prove where the money's going because they've already sent us the report. So we'll see what happens. Just here to, actually, I came to kind of audit you guys. I'm an owner of one of the units at Outrigger. I'd like to film this too.
For the Ocean Beach?
Yes, Ocean Properties, Outrigger.
Yeah.
I'm an original investor of a 2-bedroom unit. As you might know, Outrigger used to manage it.
Are you recording?
I'm just starting to record this conversation. I just did. I told you that I turned it on. Original investor of a 2-bedroom unit. As you might know, Outrigger used to manage it.
Are you recording?
I'm just starting to record this conversation. I just did.
Yeah.
I told you and then I turned it on. So I'm just going to ask you a few simple questions. I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Okay.
Outrigger is from Honolulu, Hawaii. What happened was, I'll just ask you a few questions. How did you guys get involved with Outrigger?
We're not involved with Outrigger.
As a man, not Outrigger, excuse me, Ocean Apartments. How did you become managing it?
We bought over the management right.
Okay, so you bought the management rights of like an agency fee, like a travel booking, or to actually manage?
To manage the property.
Okay,
Outrigger was removed. Outrigger was removed as the manager of the property. I think in about March or April last year. I can't remember.
About after their six-year
possibly
six-year contract ended.
When we took over the contract from the management company, which is OBH, I think Ocean Beach Hotel, right? Right. And then they appointed us to manage the property on their behalf.
Okay. And how does the restaurant fall into this?
The restaurant was a separate. Entity.
Okay.
I think in the past, this restaurant was owned by a company called Eclipse.
Okay, what's funny how PTs work over there, because you have nominees, basically. So as an apartment owner, I was sold an apartment if I check the IMB, which is the building permit. It's residential only.
Yeah.
It's funny you said Outrigger was removed, because they're going to argue that point, obviously.
Well, you can check with them.
I have.
Yeah. In fact, I think for quite some time, Outrigger don't even have a guy running it. When we were there, the general manager that was appointed by Outrigger was already left.
Alan Straw.
Yeah. We know of the name, but we've never actually met him.
Are you familiar with the owner's leases?
Yes, I'm aware a little bit about the arrangement. Basically, all the units were sold, the leasehold was sold to individual owners. And then after that, it's given back to the management company, which will run it on a short-term.
Which was also the developer, basically.
OPB, right?
Yeah. Okay, so do you audit the reports? Because are you familiar with what the arrangement is? It's a 70-30 rev
that's
share.
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
Now,
for the room revenue side of things, yes.
Have you, for the apartment lease, basically. So do you audit this? Do you guys get to audit it?
What do you mean by audit?
Like, this is kind of where Outrigger, as Outrigger said, it was news to them when I brought a lot of stuff. But this was Alan also, the old GM.
I won't be able to comment on anything that.
Okay, so you you guys don't have an agreement with the Owners Association.
No, we have an agreement with the management company.
But they're not the owners.
They are not the owners of the units, I agree.
Right.
Yeah. You guys are, which unit do you own? By the way?
206.
206. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
I'm Paul.
Paul?
They know who I am because basically I did the same thing with Outrigger.
Okay.
There was a lot of missing money, basically. Alan, they try to run me in circles, so they don't even know I'm here. I'm sure you guys are going to get on the phone with them and let them know after this.
We have no contact with Outrigger at all.
Okay, I mean, not, gosh, I keep saying Outrigger, I mean Ocean. Sorry,
Okay,
Ocean.
okay. Yeah.
So the owners have had problems. By law in Indonesia, there's supposed to be an owners association.
Yep.
Have you checked on that?
No, but I was informed that I think they were trying to set one up, and
Well, there should have been one set up
Yeah.
7 years ago.
Yeah.
They haven't. The reason they haven't is none of the owners have any power. But I'd like to invite you to take a look at, personally, I have a 2-bedroom unit.
206.
I've got an accounting background. Take a look at the reports.
I will.
And
is there anything in particular that I mean? I
there's
know
just
that
tons of missing revenue, and all the owners are upset. The thing is, we don't have an owners association. Maxie, who's the Ocean
the
PT
developer
nominee,
Yeah.
well, he's not the actual developer. It's a New
was the
Zealand guy,
director.
right? So he'll point me to Outrigger, or he'll point me to Alan, who points me to Outrigger. So I did the whole circle. Outrigger, of course, says, "Well, we don't have a contract with you. You got to go back to Ocean." I'm all, "Come on, you guys. You know, there's about, in my case, it's probably 80 to 100,000 a year missing in revenues. So what they'll do, they'll skim out $50 for breakfast, they'll skim out internet, we get free internet, or Alan was doing this. But I will just tell you, my 6 months for this year since FuramaX taken over has averaged,
It's been pretty bad.
right, but it's not hard to tell how much revenues. But when you start doing all these unauthorized charges, sales and service, 11% service
No,
on my breakfast.
21% actually.
Sales and service, right.
Yeah.
But they'll break 10% into sales, 11% service. Service is just an extra. They were deducting from the owners an internet fee. When I talked to the internet company, how much is our bill monthly? They said, well, it's free because we put the tower on your roof. So I know I want to bring this all in front of you guys.
Sure.
Because it kind of came with the package. Who do you have managing it now?
Our resort manager over there is a lady called Jennifer.
Jennifer, and she was actually Alan's executive secretary.
She was the director of sales previously, and then I think after that she got appointed to the EAM of the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she wasn't really brought in, and she kind of had the old system.
Yes, yeah.
Basically.
She was there because I think we also felt that it was quite important that we maintain some sort of continuity.
Right.
We do realize there is a lot of problems with the properties. Well, partially I think is the bigger environmental issue that is beyond our control in terms of the number of rooms that's coming up in Bali. We try to give you guys updated in terms of what's
I know that. I'm more specifically at the actual accounting.
If you're talking about the revenue itself, I'm aware of what Jennifer has updated me on some of the explanation that she needs to tell to the owners. What owners is going to say is that, look, I can see that the room, let's say yours is a 206, is that a 2-bedroom?
It's a 2-bedroom, correct.
I don't know how much is the selling price, right? But assume, like, say, look, it's selling for US $200 on the internet.
$200 to $300.
Yeah. How come I'm not getting 200? Okay. Now, the first explanation that I would have to give.
That she gave you to give.
No, but it is not just what she gave me, but it is what's happening in all the hotel.
Right. Okay, but let's back. Our contracts is an apartment. There's a kitchen in my unit.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with deducting breakfast fees, nothing to do with food and beverage sales.
It's a
your
package.
guys.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no. That's what I'm saying. If you specifically look at the contracts and the IMB, I bought an apartment.
Yes.
I can rent my apartment for $200 a night.
Okay.
For 2 nights.
Yeah.
I make my $400.
Yes. Sure.
You guys are averaging, or Jennifer, I'm not saying this is to say, I've gone through this with Outrigger.
Yeah,
so they're giving me $400 a month, which obviously is not 70% of the revenue that my room is generating. I can really care less if it's a hotel. If you want my honest opinion, and I've spoken to many attorneys over there, it's illegal. It's not. It's not for commercial usage. It's residential apartment only. So they're obviously taking all these deductions, netting it out as a hotel expense. They've kept the owners association buried, so none of the owners have had power. Recently, after the switch of management, all of a sudden some of the owners started talking, and that's where I'm sure I'm the first you're going to hear, but I've got maybe 20 other emails from owners with similar situations.
Well, we have tried to open the communication a lot more. I mean, I was told before that I think in 7 years you guys may have 1 or 2 communication from Outriggers in terms of what's happening. And I think since we took over in October last year, we have issued 3 newsletters. And the 4th one is coming up soon.
You did that through a hired PR guy?
No, it's something
that Prime One or something.
No, Prime
Steve.
Residential. Steve initially he's not a PR person. He's a real estate agent person.
He was sending us like newsletters or something.
We engage him to be the owner's liaison in terms of, because our view is that when we first took over, there's just a lot of new things there. So he's familiar with the property. So we engage him on a contract basis.
Right.
That contract is no longer valid.
Correct.
So we now issue the newsletter ourselves. So we try to explain what's going on. But I think let's just go back a little bit to the accounting. I mean, I'll have a specific look at your accounting.
Please
but
do.
I what I'm making comment right now is just a general calculation on how we does things, right? So if you're saying something that is for sale for $200, straight away we need to take away 21%.
No, that's wrong.
Because
11% the service charge, and if you and that's the thing. I will send you the contract which specifically says they charge it to the guest on top. You see, it's illegal to charge it or deduct it inside. I'm not getting the service.
No, we are well.
The 11% service is fictitious. It doesn't exist. It's not.
Let me explain. I mean, you may disagree, but I'm just explaining to you the accounting, and this is
that's your accounting. Like I said, it has nothing to.
It's not.
So you're talking about profit share on a hotel basis. I'm talking about rev share as an apartment owner. I've got my own expenses too. I don't get to deduct that.
Yeah, agreed.
So why are you deducting expenses to the hotel owners? That's a net hotel. I mean, as a hotel business, has nothing to do with the apartment rentals. So that's where I'll send you my contract too to take a look at.
I will, but
and I'll highlight these things.
Let me just finish. It's not 11%; it's 21%, because on top of the service fee, there is a 10% VAT. I think it's called VAT or GST. That's a government tax, right? Now that's 21% gone. On top of that, there is the cost of running a business. Depending on the channel, there may be commissions involved.
I realize that.
So if it is direct from a travel agent,
Agoda, etc.
Agoda, Expedia, there is a commission. But if we get a booking, for example, straight from the travel agent itself, then there isn't any commission, but the rate, of course, is slightly lower, right? That's a wholesale rate versus the retail rate. So the commission varies from 15% to 25%. I think the lowest that we know of. I can't quote specifically for that hotel, but I think for this hotel here, like Booking.com is 15%.
Yeah,
Expedia is 25%.
Very well aware of all that.
So that had to be deducted out as well.
Okay.
Right. On top of that, because we are selling it as a package, for those that buy them with breakfast, we do take out the breakfast component.
It's strictly breakfast fee has been taken out from day one. There is no other option.
That's correct.
And that has been a huge argument from the owners.
So at least you're aware of that. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to agree, but I'm simply explaining that's how we're doing it. And then on top of that, I think if its payment is done by credit card, then there is
3%,
1 to 2% taken out. Then we do 30/70. Right. That is the accounting that I'm aware of.
So you just explain a net profit
No,
hotel
that is not a
system.
net profit because we do not charge for any labor. We do not charge for any of the cleaning.
Well, there's different levels. Basically, you know, a rev share is split rev share. So you just listed all these deductions
Yeah.
where you're netting it out.
Yeah, but those are not considered revenue because it
Considered
doesn't.
to who? You can talk to, you know, considered by which accounting practices. But what I'm getting back to is, once again, it's a hotel
Yeah.
accounting system. Personally, as an owner, I really don't care about average daily rates. And that's what you just explained to me.
No, it's not. What we're concerned about is the total revenue. Because I think initially when we first come in, we felt that hotel can do a slightly better occupancy than what it's been doing. But over time, it takes me a while to understand that there is that pressure.
The marketplace, the neighbors,
not just that. There's a
everything.
lot of pressure on the owners to the hotel. Says, why is my average room rate so low? You know, it should have been higher. And our view is that I could give you a $400 average rate, but one night stay, to me, you're going to get $400.
And that's,
or you're better off getting a $200 rate with a 10-night stay in which you get $2,000. And then,
correct.
To me, I think it's the total revenue that is more important rather than average room rate. I think it is being reflected there. I mean, last month we did 80% occupancy. This month we should be on track. From the report that I saw on Monday, we should be on track for another 80% as well. But average room rate went down. The problem that we had in the beginning of the year was just that the market was really bad. I mean, that's not the only property that we have, right?
No,
I'm
well aware. Like I said, I'm from Hawaii, so I know basically all the top Kiyoyaha. I went to school with all these guys. They looked at my reports and they just laughed. So I took my apartment to sell it by Ray White, who's like the largest realtor in Bali. He even said he is unable to list our units because of all the fraud.
Well, I wouldn't call it a fraud. I wouldn't call it a fraud because I mean, if you would like to have an independent view, I mean, you know.
Oh, I've had about 5.
Well, but I think what we are doing is quite a standard hotel accounting practice. Even if you were to Google American hotel accounting standards.
I guess that's where we're kind of not on the same page. You don't have an agreement with the owners. So if I bought an apartment, who cares about some hotel accounting? I just want my 70% revenue. I'm not getting it. That is what my agreement says. So what I can do, I'll send you my contracts to double check. I'll highlight some easy areas.
I should be able to pull out the account transaction detail for your property to have a look as well.
And I mean, you can't, like I said, this is what happened. So I moved back in. I basically was confronted by the security, then the police came and took me away. The head of security was smart enough in the police station to say management wanted to remove me from my unit. The reason I moved into the unit, this is back with Outrigger and Alan. The reason I started taking over, because there was no revenues. Like I said, I can rent it for 2 nights at $200 and make $400, the same amount you guys get it. You know, I already know how much it rents for. You know, it's earning $6,000 to $8,000 a month.
We're not hiding that. I mean, certainly our selling price are quite transparent. You will be able to see it.
It's not transparent. It's not transparent. None of the owners knew all the deductions that you just explained for us, which is great.
I can explain that. I mean,
I mean, it's good. No, I'm glad you did because none of the owners will. None of them know it. First of all, none of the owners know each other. So it's just starting.
That's why I think that was one of the issues. Why I'm able to bring this up to you quite that automatically is because Jennifer did say that the owners always make comment, it's selling for $200. How come I'm not getting $200? Well,
that's the conflict. See, that's where the developer. That's where the fraud comes in. If the developer's selling
I wouldn't call it a fraud. We could sell now if we were to list it. If we were to list the apartment, let's say, for $100, and then, well, in fact, Agoda does it that way, right? If you were to Google that, property, you will see a rate of, let's say, 150, and then down in the bottom, it will say service fee 10% and tax 10% not included in the price. But then when you try to book, then you'll see a rate of $200.
But that's the correct way, according to our contracts. The owners have that they should have done it. and they don't do it that way.
But if for example in Agoda it is listed differently.
I know. No, I mean, I can't complain. I use Agoda.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah.
I always use Agoda. But
Well, it
that's,
would be better if you use our own
that's
website.
more transparent. To me, that's more. I do have an accounting background.
Yeah.
Wall Street finance and stuff.
Yeah.
So for me to catch this stuff, it's really easy. I'll send you some stuff. I just want to make you aware of it.
I'll give you my card. So
Sure,
my
sure.
email address.
And basically that's it. The owners don't get it. I've got more stuff I'll email you about.
Sure, that's my card.
So I do want to make you aware, due diligence. By Indonesia law, there's supposed to be owners association. There's no reason for them to not have it after 7 years, except for some of, whatever they had planned. But yeah, I appreciate you sitting down and talking to me. So basically, you can't show me all my receipts. Is that in Bali?
Of course, I don't have anything about the hotel here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Because
like I
Bali
said-
will tell me that Furama has it all.
It's
That's what they've done in the past with Outrigger, and that's how everything blew up with Outrigger,
Yeah,
basically. Because I am from Hawaii, I was able to go audit them like they told me to. Outrigger says, we have
Outrigger,
nothing of that.
of
It's
course.
all in Bali.
Of
And I
course,
said,
that's gonna be the case. I mean, it's.
but that's Bali's cover-up. That's
Uh-huh.
Maxi's cover-up. That's the PT's cover-up over there. And the developer is
If you want to see every
clean.
single transaction, I think it will be quite difficult. Imagine, we're talking about 115 owners wanting us to do that on a daily basis. I'm talking about I need another 2 or 3 people in the hotel.
I realize that.
Purely to deal with the hotel.
I realize
and then,
that.
There'll be other expenses.
But once again,
right?
once again, I can care less about your hotel. And don't take that as a,
No, it's when we're running the.
I'm a businessman too.
Sure.
I want return on investment. I can rent my unit for $2,400
Sure.
easily.
Sure.
Yet I only get $400. So here, this is what I'll email you later about. It's you guys don't have an agreement with me. In my eyes, you guys are trespassing. I don't know who gave you the keys to my unit. I don't know who controls the keys to my unit. There are no keys. It's a hotel credit card thing.
Yeah.
That's specifically in the contract.
Well, it's not necessarily that I would agree with, but I mean, if you would like to be removed from the leasing pool, I mean, it's possible. I think there were 2 units in that were not in the leasing pool at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Because residential owners, or
Yeah, the owners stayed
they were
there.
renting it themselves?
No, they were staying there. So
Really?
there's 2.
Okay.
But
Well,
of course, there's a maintenance fee that still needs to be paid.
Yeah, but that's an option.
No, it's not an option because maintenance fee will be.
No, I know maintenance fee, but an option because
Yeah, and then
I'm still told I can't rent it myself, which a lot of the attorneys are saying, you're the owner, you can do whatever you want with it.
Well,
and that's where I had the
we need to
past
talk.
problem.
Well, we need to talk about in terms of the access. Renting it yourself doesn't mean that you wouldn't be able to utilize the front desk for it, right?
I don't need to if I rent it myself.
I mean, if you want to rent it to a friend or someone that you know on a monthly basis and all that. Well, just like the owners who claims that he's staying there, we're not sure whether he stays there 100% or not.
Right.
But of course, then there wouldn't be any housekeeping service, there wouldn't be any linen and things like that.
Yeah, well, you can pay the $15 a day or whatever. They have packages.
Well, that's
of
for
that.
that's for owners to stay in it. I mean, we do that as a. Does it really covers our costs? We're talking about. I can't remember. It's a pretty nominal amount, but it's. Are we happy with the performance of the hotel? No, I think we can do better. But at the same time as well, the trading environment is pretty tough.
Yeah, I realize that. And every corner, there's a new $40 Ibis hotel going up
Precise.
Harris and stuff. So
I'm glad you can see that too.
no, yeah, believe me, I'm way ahead of this stuff. I guess my last question is, if it was okay, I'm on your side for this question. As a hotel, what star do you give it?
That hotel is not rated, but we try to run it equivalent to a 4-star.
Equivalent to a 4-star.
Yeah. Because, but
You wouldn't say it's a 5-star, right? There's no way. when you got the W down the road, you've actually got double six now.
It's a different rate, right? I mean,
Yeah.
well, from a branding perspective, I think we would rate it higher as a 4-star. But like Furama,
The service.
like this hotel,
Right.
it's a 4-star.
Right.
We call that a Furama exclusive. So it is a boutique, more upmarket.
A boutique,
A
okay.
boutique, more upmarket. The hardware product, I don't think it's there right now. We've just renovated room 133. I think
Okay.
it's about to be completed. Once it gets completed, we'll send a proposal to the owners to say, look, we're going to update it,
Right.
and this is how it's going to look, and this is the package.
Mm-hmm.
We're mindful of the cost as well.
Exactly.
So I think right now we're trying to control it below $5,000.
Yep.
But if you can think $5,000, you can't do too much on it either.
I mean, when I send you my contracts, you're going to understand why I just asked you the star question, because
Well,
they sold
Outrigger,
it was
this says
supposed to be
it's
a
a 5-star.
to
I've
us.
seen that, but Outrigger is not a 5-star brand.
No, they're not.
Yeah, precisely.
No, they're just
So-
cookie cutter, Waikiki, sell
Yeah,
tons
and
of rooms.
in fact, a lot of the times I think Outrigger may run a hotel without putting their names on it, right? They'll manage on other people's behalf.
But yeah, that's kind of how they kind of got
So
in
I mean,
trouble.
the
at
issue
Ocean.
about whether is it a 5-star property or not, at the time you're selling it, it's not really something I can comment. That's
Or the
7
time we
years
bought
ago.
it.
Yeah. But-
well, see, that's once again, I'm going back to what was sold to the owners from the developer.
I wouldn't be able to.
That's
I
right,
come
yeah.
into the picture. We're talking about.
No, I just wanted your impression. What obviously it's not a 5-star.
Well, Outrigger wouldn't call
So-
itself a 5-star.
No, it was,
and
it was,
when
it
you were
was
buying
the
it.
developer. It was the
Yeah,
developer.
and I think when you bought it, it was already known as an Outrigger, if I'm not wrong.
Well,
In fact, I think the contract says
that's the
Outrigger.
big problem with Outrigger House right now. They've got to answer in America for what their involvement. Sadly, a lot of it, they probably didn't know what was going on. Hopefully, after this meeting, you'll take a closer look. But
I'll
from
have
my
a look at your calculus.
from my standpoint as a as an investor, and like I said, I'm from Hawaii. I know how much hotel rooms earn on the beachfront units and stuff. But when nobody can justify a monthly return of $400, it's like I said, I can rent it. I could probably rent it for one night over the weekend for $400. So we're looking for our cash flow.
We understand that. We
And there is
understand.
none, and it's skimmed out. From my standpoint, it was strictly a 70-30. All those expenses, that's on the 30% management side. I really don't care about any of that stuff. It's like I said, I've got my own expenses.
This is where I think we look at it things differently.
Yeah, and
we said
that's
it's 7:30 on the room.
that's
revenue.
and that's where I think the conflict's going to hopefully start arising from our standpoint. Is you guys don't have an agreement with us. I can really, if the developer tells us one thing with their makeshift management company, and they turn around and have you do all their dirty work, basically. So, like I said, Outrigger told me, well, these are interesting developments, and now you seem to think they were removed.
They were. Well, because when we came in, they were not there.
Oh yeah, well that was a six-year contract. It ended. This is after I had already gone in. Similar stuff. I audited them. They wrote me a nice letter and just said, look, we don't have a contract with you. And I was, exactly. So what, are you trespassing? I mean, what are you even doing? Who gave you my keys? You weren't authorized. What about all these unauthorized charges? Next thing they're gone. Alan's gone. Mantra was supposed to come in.
Okay.
A group from Australia.
Yeah,
I actually spoke to Mantra, and sure enough, they were uninterested, and that's why it kind of caught me off guard that you guys came in, and I'm not sure if you guys did your due diligence. Had you guys talked to Outrigger, what's going on, with this unit?
No, I mean, we wouldn't talk to Outrigger, and because Outrigger get removed voluntarily or whatever from the property, there will be a little bit
six-year
of
contract ended.
Yeah.
That's what actually it's a 5-year contract, but the first year was sort of the soft opening, however long that lasted. So that's according to Outrigger. So of course you're going to get. But all I can say is, a unit like that is earning close to $100,000 a year in revenue, which on a resale, investment resale at 8%, is $1 million unit.
Which one is 206? Where are you located?
206, you walk on the left side,
Yep.
and it's right up the
On the
steps. It's right up the steps or the elevator, and it's a great location actually. It's not facing the pool, and it's kind of one in.
It's facing the back?
No, it's overlooking the courtyard, but you don't get the noise from the pool. It's kind of on the bend before it goes
There are a
back.
few properties there for sale right now, I think for 2-bedroom for about $300,000 US. So
Nothing's moving, believe me. You don't want to get into that because then it's even crazier.
yeah, but so I think that figure of 800,000, it's unlikely if you're looking for that price to sell the property.
That's what I'm saying. I can't sell it, but based on the revenues it's generating, it's $1 million unit.
Furthermore, that's a 30-year lease property, right?
Yeah, and if you talk to the attorneys over there, you'll find out 100-year leases are illegal. Anything above 30-year, you can't do that in Indonesia, Indonesian law. So that's more, like I said, that's between the salespeople and the owners. But yeah, thank you for the explanations. So basically, you just told me you do not have the receipts, that I have to go back
Oh, I definitely
and
don't
get
have
them
the
from
receipt
Bali.
here.
Yeah, because they'll point fingers at you guys and say. So I just kind of shortcutted everything. So Welly, thank you. I'm Paul. Sorry to bombard you like this in the morning,
it's okay.
but
It's okay.
you answered great. And
I'm not sure what's the purpose of you recording it, but okay.
no, because
As long as somebody
Outrigger is
does-
going to tell me that or not Outrigger, Ocean. I keep saying Outrigger. Ocean's going to tell me that that it's everything in your hands. And
Yeah, but
once again, it's like
I'm not giving you
guys have
permission
the
to put
contract.
any videos on the public domain.
I won't put it in
If-
public.